Hi, Colm Kelly, solicitor here from Healy Crowley Ahern Solicitors in Cloglan and Carsavine. I hope this finds you well. I just wanted to give you some information about an area that comes up quite a lot when we're buying and selling properties, and that is a tax known as the NPPR, or the Non-Principal Private Residence Tax. Around the time of the economic crisis, the government were looking for ways of increasing the tax income of the state, and they began looking at areas of property tax. And the government essentially dipped their toe really into the issue of property tax by looking to tax people who had a second house, that is a house not their main family home. And this is what the non-principal private residence tax is all about, or we call it the NPPR, or the holiday home tax. The tax was introduced in 2009, and when it was introduced, it was relatively modest. It was €200 a year, and it applied for the years 2009, 2010, 2011 and 2012. The tax in itself was not majorly burdensome, although nobody likes paying tax. And it was really the precursor of what ultimately now has become the local property tax. And that's a tax that applies in respect of all properties, regardless of whether you live in it or not. But the NPPR tax, which is a tax which is now no longer applies, only applied for the years 2009, 2012. As I said, the rate was low enough on an annual basis, but really there was a sting in the tail if you didn't pay your tax. Significant interest and penalties were applied by the government in relation to those persons who hadn't paid their tax for that year, or the years that it applied. And the tax applies to holiday homes for persons regardless of whether or not you live in Ireland or not. So if you have a second house in Ireland, or a house that you're not living in as your main residence, well, then you had to pay this tax. The interest and penalties that applied if you'd never paid your tax, as I said, were significant. The tax is collected actually by the local authority, and in this case here it will be Kerry County Council. And if you've never paid your tax, the liability now is €7,220. So that is a significant amount. Interesting as well is that it is a tax that goes with the house or stays with the house. So it always remains there unless it's discharged. So solicitors buying and selling properties are very alive to this issue, and they want to make sure that the tax has been paid. Because if it hasn't been paid and you buy a property, then the new owner becomes liable for the tax. So we always make sure that this is dealt with at any time of buying and selling property. We often find that, in particular, clients of ours who have lived out of Ireland for a period of time but have property here were caught by this tax, as they were never informed or never knew that they had to pay the tax. There is a way to alleviate some of the impact of the tax if it has never been paid, and an application can be made to Kerry County Council for mitigation of the tax. If you're successful in your application for mitigation, it will serve to reduce the liability down to 50% of its level. Kerry County Council have a specific form which they can supply to you, or we normally apply for on behalf of clients, and we make arrangements to fill out the form and seek the rebate. Even if you're selling a house which you've lived in and you don't have a holiday home, you still have to be aware of this tax known as the NPPR. And the reason being is that as solicitors, we need to know that the NPPR did not apply. The NPPR did not apply if you're using the house as your main holiday home. If you're using your house as your main residence. If your house is your main residence, then the tax did not apply, because, as I said, it only applies to holiday homes. However, to prove that the tax did not apply, you must apply to the local authority for an exemption, known as a certificate exemption. To be able to obtain this certificate of exemption, you have to prove to the local authority that you lived at your house for the years 2009 and 2012. To do that, it is quite cumbersome. You must have evidence of residence, principally by means of electricity bill or a bank statement for each of the years of 2009 and 2012. In addition, the local authority tend to look for evidence such as a copy of your driving licence showing you living at that property, evidence from the electoral register or other type of evidence. So it is a significant item that needs to be attended to, an important element of buying and selling property. If you are thinking of buying and selling a property, please pick up the phone and give me a call. I'd love to hear from you. We've a lot of good information and resources on our website, hcalaw.ie. My telephone number is 066 9761295. If you have any queries about property law or this area of the NPPR, please feel free to give me a call. Many thanks, and thank you for taking the time to listen to this.